To the What the Elf Was That podcast, an iconoclastic look at the latest Cleveland Browns news. The What the Elf Was That podcast is part of the Fanatical Elves podcast network, a part of the Fans First Sports Network. Here's your host, Joel Cade.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of What the Elf Was That? I'm here once again with John the Man Suchan. Say hi, John.
Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at, folks. It's What the Elf with Joel Cade, the left
I,
guard.
I really thought you were going to do one of those like the Truman Show. Oh, in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. You almost had it.
I
You
almost did.
almost had it.
I have a photo of me in front of that house. Last time we were,
Really?
in that neck of the woods down there in Seaside, where they filmed the movie like several years ago. My wife and my mother-in-law and family and friends went down, and we found the house, and I have a photo of me doing what you just.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. That'd be awesome. So, hey, I need you to help me understand something before we get on to football. The WNBA. What the
Yes.
elf is going on with the WNBA? Like I don't follow the WNBA, and all I know is what's coming through my feed. Okay,
Okay.
but there seems to be a real problem with the WNBA because one, they have people that fans finally want to watch. Like I know who Caitlin Clark is, so that's the
Yes.
first time that I know who anybody is in the WNBA, as opposed to Brittany Griner, and only because she was in Russia for all that time. Okay,
Yeah.
so the first time I ever heard of anybody, right? And so I've even had people like, "Hey, what do you think about the WNBA?" I've never had these questions ever in my entire life. Okay, so that's half of what I get on the WNBA, and the
Right.
other half are like people complaining that. Well, I would say half. That's part of what I get with the WNBA. The other part I get is people like players trying to hurt other players, and not just like other players. They're trying to hurt the players that people are going to see, right? So that's going on. And then those same players that seem to be mentioned as like this person went out and did some thuggery against somebody else are the same people who want to get paid the exact same amount that NBA players get paid. Help me understand what's going on here because logically, do you if you go out and you hurt the people that make you money, how are you going to get paid?
Well, first off, I want to welcome the dogs too. We have several dogs in the background. So if anybody hears us barking, that's not me. It's our lovely dog. So we are
Hey, dogs are welcome.
the yes. The WNBA is a very interesting. It's in a very interesting time. I've talked a little bit about it on my own shows, and your observations are very accurate. My
Well, at least
wife
that's
are
what's
not.
coming through the Twitter feed. That's what's coming through the Twitter.
Yeah,
Now, whether
my
that's
daughter.
actually happening or not, I don't know. But
Well,
that's
my
what's
daughter and I recently went to a Seattle Storm when I was out in Seattle. We went to see the Seattle Storm play. I believe it was the team Dallas. They have their new star Paige Bucher or Buchner. And you're absolutely correct. Some of the better players, like Caitlin Clark, are getting pushed around and beat up. And there's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of issues going on. I'm there's a lot of things that are wrong with the WNBA. We're first off, I've said for a while that they're not making any kind of money. Now, obviously, with Caitlin Clark, they are making a little bit more, and they're the Seattle Storm and a lot of these franchises are doing really well with their attendance, and they're drawing
mm-hmm.
young fans and young people that are into it more. But you're right, man. I mean, I have a real issue with a lot of these people. Sophie Cunningham is just an idiot. The little known player went to the University of Missouri, now is on Caitlin Clark's team, and she's the one that many of these WNBA players. There's a constant battle with perception. They're doing all these extra things like videos and TikToks and things to try to capture people's interest. They're dressing up in high heels and fancy outfits to try to attract a different other type of crowd. And then they're trying to go out there and play a game. There's so many I mean, there's so many things going on that are just they're having a hard time finding an identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Joel, we talk about teams like the Browns finding an identity. The WNBA is really struggling with an identity, because you're right. I mean, why do you want to beat up the players that are bringing, the more popular players? So it's a real mess, and I don't know
They
how
need
they
to
clean
call
it up.
themselves. They need to call themselves the gorgeous ladies of basketball, and just put ropes around the court, and they can just fight it out,
Well, and
like
the other thing too,
NBA, like
Joel, the
pro
the
wrestling
basketball
style.
itself, and I'm sorry, I've been critical of, because even more than that, just the game of basketball, and I know some people might not like hearing this if you're a WNBA fan, but they're not very good, as far as when it comes to playing basketball. They're not very good. The game that we went to against with Seattle against Dallas, Seattle shot the ball 30%. Now that's not atrocious, but the number of shots that were missed inside 10 feet and the number of layups that were missed, that's horrendous. I've coached middle school and high school basketball teams, both boys and girls, and our teams at that level did just as well as some of these NBA teams you see out there. It's not good basketball. So that's the other
Okay,
issue I have with it.
well, then I guess that answers my question. I mean, maybe they're trying to beat each other up as a way to get an audience. Like, hey,
Well, I
if
think you
we
have a point
turn
there. Yeah.
into pro wrestling, then we can, like, if we beat somebody up, we'll get on Twitter and people will care. Anyway, speaking of people who care, did you see the initial Miles Garrett press conference?
I
I
missed
saw
that.
part
Tell
of
me,
it.
tell me,
Okay, so
because
the only part that I thought was relevant was this. Somebody said to him, like the very first question out the gate was, "So Miles, what's it like to drive at 100 miles an hour behind the wheel and like get, basically your car flip or whatever?" And Miles is like, I don't want to talk about this. I just want to talk about my team. Just dodging the whole thing, right? And then this reporter comes back with, "Well, the fans, they want to know what it's like." And Miles says, "Fans want to know a lot of things." And then that's how he ends it, which I actually thought was a good response. Like, people want to
sure.
know a lot of things.
Yeah.
I get it. You don't have to answer the stupid question because it's out there, but like, I'll give Miles that piece. He handled the
Okay.
media well with that. So
Okay. Good.
score one for the anti knucklehead, like, argument.
Well, you've had a lot to say about hashtag leader.
Miles Garrett is something else. So, I don't think there's much going on in the news that I really would like piqued my interest.
It's a few things.
There's a couple things that I could rant about, like how to take a snap in the NFL and how can these people not do this.
Now they did
But that would
announce
be like that'd be like a 20-minute rant. So just like I'm
they
gonna let
announced
you.
that Kenny Pickett will not play in the game on Saturday. He's still
So
got that hammy.
I still think he's the guy for this team this year. I think that they're put their chips in on Kenny Pickett. So I think they're
That's
gonna
been the
keep
discussion today. Yeah.
four. Has it been? They're going to keep four. I think if Flacco he plays well, eventually he's going to give way to Kenny Pickett. They're going to rest him up. They're going to get him healthy, and I think they want to get him on the field. I ultimately think they want Flacco there for
Mhm.
the backup, for the veteran presence, but I think they want to see
Now,
what's going on with Kenny
let me
Pickett.
ask you this.
That's my opinion on this.
When they asked Stefanski earlier in the week about it, he kind of suggested that they're, do they want to keep four quarterbacks? And Stefanski sort of said, we would like to, but it's not realistic. Did you see that comment?
I didn't, but I can't imagine they're not keeping all four of them, unless they're going to try to trade somebody.
Well, that's
Then the
the other
question
part
is,
of
who
the
do you trade?
conversation. Yeah.
Who do you trade? I mean, you could try to trade Kenny Pickett, but admittedly, you only gave up like a fifth or something for him. So I mean, you could probably get some value off him, but are you ready to like let it go from the start? I think you'd want to get these people on the field. You can't
Mhm.
cut Shador unless you're ready to just lose him to another team because somebody will stash him.
Right.
You could say, hey, every team passed on him 5 times before the Browns took him. I mean, yeah, you could say that, but on the other hand, he's
Mhm.
actually gone out there and played a preseason game and looks like an NFL quarterback.
Yes.
So, like you're going to have to keep him on the roster.
Yeah, I agree. The only
So that's what you're going to have to do.
Dylan Gabriel potentially. I mean, obviously, I think the trade bait here is Kenny Pickett. Then second would be Dylan Gabriel in my mind. That
Let's talk about that Dylan Gabriel game, by the way. I
yeah.
mean, I don't think we've talked about it. So why don't we talk about it? I think Dylan Gabriel excelled in exactly what I thought he would do good at.
Mhm.
He excelled in getting the team out of the huddle, up to the line of scrimmage, got him in the right play, and executed the play. I was really surprised with how I'm going to get back to the center thing. I was
Yes.
really surprised at how much Dylan Gabriel was under center as compared to what Shador Sanders
That's a
was
good
under center.
observation.
I
Mhm.
mean, there were a lot more snaps of Dylan Gabriel under center than there were Shador Sanders under center. And I think, some of the struggles Dylan Gabriel has with that showed, but it also speaks to his level of command of the offense. It's easier to run an offense from shotgun.
Why?
That's why, because one, the quarterback can see everything from a better angle. Two,
Mhm.
that the plays, like, it's easier to drop back and see a pass play unfold if you start in shotgun as
Mhm.
opposed to starting under center. The
Mhm.
rhythm is different from under center than the rhythm is as starting the shotgun. So if you're
Mhm.
already standing there and you get the ball, you can watch the play start, put your head down, catch the ball, look your right back up a split second later, and they're going to be different, but it's going to be relatively the
Mhm.
same. If you're taking that ball under center, you got to take the snap, then you got to trot back. And as you're trotting back, you're losing the depth perception
Mhm.
of what's happening. At one point, it's right in front of you. The
Mhm.
next step, it's 5 feet behind you.
Yeah.
And so you have to add that depth perception piece to it
Mhm.
as you're evaluating as a quarterback. And that makes it difficult to see if somebody's dropping.
Mhm.
Is that dropping linebacker a result of me dropping, or is it that linebacker is actually dropping?
Mhm.
So it's easier for a quarterback to see the field from that shotgun position. Plus, you've already got depth from your offensive line, so it's easier to see over top of them.
Mhm.
I was really surprised with how much Dylan Gabriel was under center and dropping back under center and throwing the ball, and he did it well. And he did it well for the most part. I mean,
Mhm.
there's still some one observation I made, and then I'll stop shut up about this center
No.
thing, is that you don't have a lot of plays where the guard is pulling across behind the center. I
Mhm.
haven't seen many of those plays in the preseason, and that speaks to the issues that Shador Sanders and Dylan Gabriel have with taking a snap, because a
Mhm.
snap is a strongly choreographed
Mhm.
situation where the
Sure.
center steps, the quarterback steps,
Mhm.
and if you throw a third person in there,
Mhm.
try dancing with three people as opposed to two people, and you got that guard trying to pull past that center creates an even
Mhm.
bigger mess. So I
Mhm.
think they've tried to avoid having the guards cross that mess because
Mhm.
the quarterbacks aren't getting out of the way. Like, if they're not going to get out of the way, that's going to limit your whole offense.
Mhm.
Like, you have to take that snap and get out of the way.
Mhm.
And you saw it with that issue with Gabriel, where he
Now,
took the snap and almost took a stutter step backward to
uh-huh.
turn himself, and didn't get any distance on the step, which got him to Pierre Strong late, which ended up causing the fumble. At that point, dude, just
So
tuck
do
the
you
ball
look
and
at that?
follow Pierre Strong.
I mean, I'm blaming. Well, I have two things on that. I mean, as far as
Okay.
that turnover, I agree. I mean, I'm putting some blame on the quarterback here, on Dylan Gabriel, for both those
Hmm.
turnovers, and you just pointed out the one with the running back. Obviously, it takes the two of them to tango, and but like you just said, Dylan was a little bit late. I don't know. It sounded like Pierre Strong maybe had to go a little bit wide or whatever, but it was a mistake, and it can be corrected, but it was a mistake. The other point I was going to say is when you're looking at Dylan Gabriel and what you were just talking about, and Shador Sanders out of the shotgun, there were some stats that came out, and I wanted your interest. I shared this with Lou during the pot show the other night. In play action passes, according to one category that somebody kept track of, when Shador played, he was like 4 for 5 in play action plays for like 50 yards, and Dylan Gabriel was like 1 for 4 or 1 for 6 in play action plays. I don't know if that makes any difference to you. I just noted that. The other thing I know, Steve Gill, who loves Dylan Gabriel a lot, um, talked about, and you also mentioned this, was the timing of the offense and how you got to get a playoff with more than 12 seconds. And according to Steve on his show, Dog Pound South, he said that Dylan Gabriel had no problem doing that all game. That's why he thinks that Dylan Gabriel is the better quarterback, because I don't agree with that assessment completely. I agree with
Right now,
parts of
he may
it.
be better. He may be more ready right
But
now than
let me
Shador
ask you this
Sanders
though. The other
for
thing,
that reason.
okay, but what about the long distance plays? They didn't have, and maybe it was scripted this way, but the other stat that was shared was that between 10 and 19 yards, and then 19 yards and beyond, Shador Sanders in his game was like, I think 4 for 6 or something total. And Dylan Gabriel didn't attempt any passes over 19 yards. And I think he was like 1 for 2 or 1 for 3 from between 10 and 19 yards, basically saying that Shador was passing the ball down the field. Dylan Gabriel really wasn't.
Right. So there's a lot to you could unpack with this. I will say a few things about the offense first. The Kevin Stefanski scheme is a short passing offense.
Hmm.
Okay, it's partially West Coast offense combined with outside zone running schemes. So it is a timing, quick hitting, short passing offense that Dylan Gabriel was getting the ball out on
Hmm.
time and getting it to the correct receiver. I think when the offense works, that's what it looks like. Okay. Now,
Hmm.
the way you get the ball down the field is you get that quick passing game going, you get that running game going, you hit them with play action, and you throw the ball down the field.
Yes.
Sounds like Dylan Gabriel didn't do the greatest of getting the ball down the field.
Hmm.
Now, that could be receivers. We've seen receivers run all kinds of messed up routes. That could just be Dylan Gabriel afraid to throw the ball. Mind you, Joe Burrow in his first 2 games as a quarterback in the NFL didn't even attempt a pass over 20 yards. He didn't
Mm.
complete a pass over 10 for 4 games. So,
Yes.
like in the air for
Yes.
10 yards over 4 games. Because Cincinnati was running this kind of like quick hitting offense because that's what Joe Burrow ultimately does best. He's
Yeah.
ultimately not a downfield thrower. You wonder if that wasn't set up for Dylan Gabriel so that he could be successful because that's what he
Well,
does
right.
well.
That's the question.
Shador Sanders throws the ball downfield. So why would you
Exactly.
not have him throw the ball downfield?
So that's why I don't think it's a fair assessment when you're comparing the two. And maybe you would think that Dylan Gabriel is a little bit further along. I suppose in some aspects he is, but
One different. Let me talk
yeah,
about that for a second,
sure, sure.
just so we can get at where we're at with these two guys. I think Dylan Gabriel is ahead of the mental game.
Okay.
He's just ahead. That doesn't mean he's permanently going to be ahead. Just right now, he's
Hmm.
ahead in the operational part of the offense. Calling the play, get him out of the huddle, get him up to the huddle, take the snap, execute the play. He's ahead of Shador Sanders because Shador has issues calling plays because that's why they're getting out of the huddle late.
Hmm.
His taking a snap is just absolutely atrocious. I was horrified watching him do it. But he has he is ahead of Gabriel in other ways, right? So he's ahead of Dylan Gabriel in the post snap situation. He's
Hmm.
got a stronger arm. He's more accurate. He throws the ball downfield. Once
Hmm.
he settled down in that first game, he was able to
Yeah.
throw the short, intermediate, and long passing game. So if you have to look at where we're at with Shador Sanders, okay, he has to catch up to Dylan Gabriel in the operationals piece. But that is any rookie in the NFL, except
Hmm.
maybe Dylan Gabriel, who for some reason had this down before he showed up or has
Well,
got
he
the
was
cheat
six
code
years
for figuring
in
out,
college football. He played 6 years as a quarterback in college football. So he's
right. So I
yeah,
think in the long term, if Gabriel is here, right, and Sanders is here when it comes to operational, Sanders will catch him
yeah.
because it's a skill. It's a learned thing,
Hmm.
and everybody does it, and it's game
Yeah.
management, and he'll catch up. That is
Okay.
easily fixed because it's a mental situation. Where Sanders is going to far surpass Dylan Gabriel is going to be in the physical pieces, and we already see that. We already see that. So it's
Mm.
really just a matter of time. Literally, it's a matter of time before Shador Sanders catches up and surpasses Dylan Gabriel. It's just a matter of time.
So with the coaches and with the organization this week, there's been so much conversation in terms of Flacco starting. So who's going to be the backup? Stefanski won't name the backup. You did mention Kenny Pickett really ultimately should be the guy. So where does that put these other two guys? I mean, should we expect to see either one of them play this year?
I don't know. We'll see. Browns quarterbacks get hurt a dime a dozen, so we might see all of them. We
Yes.
might even see Snoop Huntley starting the game. Come on. So week 6, we're on our 6th
I
quarterback.
have something I want to ask you in a little bit about your favorite the Ratbirds here momentarily. So
I in
I've got
terms
a
of the
good one for
quarterbacks,
you.
all right. I'm looking forward to this. I think ultimately they don't want Joe Flacco to start the whole year. I think they
Uh,
want to see what's going on with Kenny Pickett. You gave up resources. He's on a 1-year deal. So you're either
okay.
trading him or you're playing him. You got to figure that out.
Mhm.
You've still got Dylan Gabriel, who's probably not ready. You still got Shador Sanders.
Sure.
Sitting at a year is not going to kill either one of them. In fact, it's probably the best thing they could do is get a year under their belt,
Yeah.
just like Aaron
Patrick
Rodgers
Mahomes
did,
did.
just like Jordan Love did, just like Patrick Mahomes did, just like a lot of quarterbacks did. Geno Smith had a while before he really kind of figured stuff
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater had a while before he figured stuff out. I mean, I don't think J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota took a snap all year.
Speaking of
And
JJ
I'm not going to.
McCarthy, jeez, what a moron. What
That guy,
what an ass. He was on the other day putting down the Buckeyes, and I'm just like, you little twit. I just don't like those
it'll be
Michigan.
interesting to see how he plays because the game's a lot harder when you're not cheating. I mean, the NCAA did say that they were cheating. John, we need to take a break for a second. Let's take our station break. All right. Hang on, guys. We'll be back in about 5 seconds. Okay, we're back. That JJ McCarthy stuff was garbage, right? I don't have these Ohio State tough guys. I mean, like the dude missed the entire season. Like, are you
Right?
talking about tough guys? Maybe you need some tough guys. I mean, if I was hurt the entire season, the last person I'd be talking about is somebody pretending to be a tough guy. I mean, at least they played.
Yeah, Mason Graham's on our team, so we have to sort of. By the way, I want to ask you about that. Sitting out Mason Graham and Carson Schwarzenegger last preseason game, game 2 that happened last week against Philly, and all these, they had the practices, so the coaches liked all that, these joint practices, and then sitting out, they're rookies, Joel. They're rookies. I don't.
Here's my answer to this.
Yeah.
My answer is Joe Flacco, right? Joe Flacco is like 100 years old, but he came from the old style football when you had two-a-days, when you practiced all the
Mhm.
time. You
Mhm.
you got up, you
Yeah.
practiced, you
Yeah.
slept, you went
Yeah.
back to practice, you went to bed for the night. You know, through the Iron Man days of everything,
hmm
and he's still out there playing. And now you've got the new wave of people. Oh, we're gonna do the sports science thing, and like they're all hurt.
Right. Exactly.
So maybe they were doing something right with Joe Flacco in that generation.
I
Maybe
couldn't
they
agree.
did
Yeah.
something correct.
Yep.
Maybe playing football is the best way to stay healthy to play football.
Yes, and I just hate the people that defend not only Stefanski and Barry, but all these people that are doing this. I just think it's a terrible. I just hate it. I just think it's
I
you're
mean,
not
this
doing
was
your
the
job.
same. Remember watching what was it? Where they had all the cameras in, Hard Knocks, right?
Hard knocks.
And that big discussion between Todd Haley, is that his name? Todd Haley,
Yes.
and bald headed dude as the coach,
Yes.
uh,
Hugh Jackson, who also
Hugh
yeah.
Jackman. That's right, Hugh Jackman. Now,
Asman.
Hugh Jackman. Now, he's like, when you drive the bus, you can make these decisions. But all the coaches are like, we can't coach them if they're not playing.
Right.
We got to put them out on the field.
Right.
And then you've got Jarvis Landry out there. All you people taking days off, and I got this, and I got that. Then all of a sudden everybody's sitting around doing nothing.
Now
It's like
Jarvis and Odell are out of the league. That
Yeah.
quickly.
Odell says he's not retired. Come on. Now,
I thought he was retired. Okay. he's
oh
not?
no. He says he's not retired. I think the NFL is saying he's retired, but he thinks he's not retired yet.
Oh, Odell.
So yeah, just this debate between these sports science people have been going on for years, going on decades.
Yeah.
Okay. And they still get hurt at this insane rate
Oh, they
for almost
do.
a decade. How much sports science information do you need before you realize that what you're doing is not working?
Mhm.
Like, we're supposed to be talking about smart people. Okay. Smart people eventually look at the data they have and saying, it doesn't make any sense, but this crap just doesn't work.
Mhm.
It just doesn't work. And then like go back to the drawing board.
Yeah. No,
I don't get it. At what point do they say this just isn't working?
Oh, I know. It's just boneheaded. I don't know. I think it's just like the players union, all the bargaining, all the stuff that they did. That's part of what's happening, and you
Yeah,
see
I
it
try to
across.
stay
We're
away
not
from it.
even. I mean, you see it everywhere. You see it in other businesses and schools and everything. How everything is just changed. Makes things
Everybody's
so much
afraid of
harder.
getting sued.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's a little crazy out there, Joel.
It's weird out there. Of course,
I have
you're in that
something.
educational
I got
system.
something I need to talk to you about.
All right, bring
I
it to
think
me.
I think this will capture your interest. The Baltimore Ratbirds. You
Does this
know,
have to do with a kicker? Like, are you going to bring up my
well,
two
no, but
favorite subjects to
did
hate?
you
The
see?
Ravens and kickers.
So the Ratbirds are celebrating. You ready for your Ratbirds hate, your Ravens hate segment?
Hold on, let me pull it up. Ready? Here we go.
I'm actually a Ravens fan.
Go to hell.
Okay,
The
give it to me.
Ratbirds are celebrating their 30 years of existence in their home game at the beginning of the season when they play no other than the Cleveland Browns. They're having the big celebration
Wow.
prior to the game,
You
and I
know,
think during
that's
halftime,
such a Baltimore thing. I think you
right?
know, I think Browns fans need to inhabit Baltimore and take the big, the foam fingers with the one on it, except it needs to
Mhm.
be like a middle finger. Like they need to show up with
Sure.
a whole bunch of middle fingers and remind them that friends who have friends who are Browns fans don't let their teams go to Baltimore because the Baltimore Orioles used to be the St. Louis Browns. And the
Hmm.
St. Louis Browns got sold under the condition that they stay in St. Louis. And the very next year, that owner moved them straight to Baltimore, changed their names from the Browns to the Orioles, and their
Hmm.
football team used to be the Browns. And
Hmm.
now that they're the Baltimore Ravens, is there anything original in Baltimore? Like, do they do anything like
Hmm.
what is distinctly Baltimore besides Edgar Allan Poe? I mean, and
Hmm.
how is that not like the perfect patron saint for a city? Have you been to Baltimore? I mean, it looks like something out of an Edgar Allan Poe story. Everything's destroyed except for this one little area down by the harbor, right? That's actually kind of
Yeah.
nice. But everything else is like it's like a horror. When I'm watching like that show Wednesday on Netflix, it's like
Yes.
that is Baltimore, right? The Ravens are everywhere, like, and you've got like creepy people walking all the time, and half of them are zombies, and like the whole city is like if the zombie apocalypse is going to happen, it's starting in Baltimore. They're half zombies down there to start with, and you
Well,
got
I
these
saw
thug
that, and
fans that attack people, and like
I thought of
it's a
you immediately when
disgrace.
I saw that. I didn't know if you saw that, so obviously you did not. It
No,
struck a nerve in a
my
lot of Browns fans.
Yeah, well, it should because it's an absolute disgrace. And they want to celebrate 30 years there, 30 years of like riding off Cleveland's back is what they've done.
Hmm.
Like we
Yeah.
sent them an organization primed to win, and all they did was just ride off of it.
Yep. They did.
Screw
Hmm.
them. Am I allowed to flip people off alive?
Absolutely.
I wonder if I can get a special emoji for my camera for this. No,
That
I
would be
don't get
great.
one.
That'd
If
be
I can get
great.
like a two finger emoji, well, screw the Ravens, man. Like they should like the NFL should just realign Baltimore into the same division as New England, the
Did you
Jets, and
see?
like
I know this
the
is a different
Bills.
sport, but baseball. Somebody came up with new configurations for
Wasn't that
the
the
baseball.
commissioner? Wasn't the commissioners the one that came up with that? They were going to
Well,
expand
did
and
you see
realign.
this? Did you see this? So
I've seen like
they
maps.
had
I've seen maps.
did you see the one that I saw? It was like yesterday, and it was they had Cleveland in the Mid Atlantic, even though they have a Great Lakes division.
Like why would Cleveland be in a division with
Who's on
Baltimore
the
in
Great Lake?
baseball? Yeah, in Baltimore. Like why would you be in a division with East Coast teams?
I know.
That doesn't make any sense. Was that the one you're talking about?
Yes.
That didn't make any sense to me. I mean, you've got Cincinnati in the league with like some of those two Chicago teams
Yeah.
and Kansas City. Was it Kansas City or St. Louis? It
Okay.
was St. Louis.
Okay.
Like that kind of makes sense, but
Sure.
like, how is Cleveland? I don't
Right.
know. Like
They put
I don't.
Toronto in there, which is also a Great Lake, but I don't know. It was bizarre. I was flabbergasted by it.
Well, most of the people live, wet or east of the Mississippi, and then you've got like desert because you don't get any rain because of the Rocky Mountains. Then you get the people on the other side of the Rocky Mountains
Right.
that live. So there's like nobody in like a third of the continental U.S. So I mean,
I
I
lived in
get
that
it.
region for a while. Lived in the heartland, lived there in Kansas. Yes.
Were you in the part of Kansas that got rain, or were you the part of the Kansas that didn't get rain?
Didn't get rain. I was in Wichita.
Okay, Wichita Falls.
No, that's Wichita,
No.
Texas. Wichita
Okay,
Falls. Wichita Falls,
okay.
Texas. I was in Wichita.
Okay.
Wichita.
All right. Well, I mean,
Wichita.
like, I get it. Like, if you want to put all your baseball teams on the other side of the Rockies, because that's
Yeah.
where everybody lives in the West, and you put all the other baseball teams
Right.
in
I don't know if I
divisions.
saved the
But
picture of
I
that or
think you
not.
have like, aren't the Rangers and the Astros in the same division as the Mariners?
Yes, they are.
Like, that doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make
Right.
sense to me. But who else you putting out there, right?
Right.
You've got two LA
I
teams,
can
a
understand
San
it's
Diego
part of that, but
team,
when you
San
get to the
Francisco
East
team.
Coast and you're leaving Cleveland out of the Great Lakes division and you're on a Great Lake, I think there's unless they just want, I think 4 teams. So I think they had Chicago, Milwaukee, Toronto.
No,
and
the
they
two
had
Chicago
Minnesota.
teams were
They had
two
Minnesota in there, and they're not on a Great Lake. They're the Twins. They're Minneapolis. Put them somewhere out west.
Minnesota's the land of 1,000 lakes. Come on, don't you look at that Land
screw
O'Lakes
them.
butter?
They also
Haven't
got
you seen Land O'Lakes
bazillion
butter?
flies and screw Minneapolis. They have a nice airport, but
All right, John, we got
they
to
had
end on
Prince,
football here.
and they had Prince, but that's about it.
Yeah, we got to end on football here. So, are you excited to see the Browns starters this weekend?
For sure. I'm looking. It sounds like Flacco's going to get a few rounds, and then it sounds like Shador and Dylan Gabriel. We'll see how that pans out with their health. So I'm
Are
excited.
they announcing an order? Like, is it going to be Shador?
I haven't
then
seen
Dylan
that.
Gabriel?
I think
Okay.
it's just, I think it's just been talked about today because Kenny Pickett's not going to be playing.
Like, how bad was this injury of his, man? Like, is he going to need surgery on this thing?
It beats me. I just, at this point, I mean, you were thinking that when all this was announced that Kenny Pickett was going to be the odd guy out. But now this week, and like what you're saying, the Browns really seem to be wanting Kenny Pickett to be with the team. So there's going to be some real interesting
I think
decisions
the Browns
as we get down
to. They need to understand that the most important position on the field is quarterback. If you legitimately think Kenny Pickett can be your answer, then you have to play him this year.
Well, what about
two draft
Deshaun
picks
Watson, who's posting videos this afternoon again of him warming up and throwing the ball? Everyone's starting to say, "Oh no, is
Deshaun who?
Deshaun's coming." Yeah, right.
Deshaun who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, he needs to go get a massage. Him and damn it, the
Miles?
kicker from Baltimore.
No,
the kicker from Baltimore.
Oh, by the way, are we going to keep our kicker? Are we going to keep our kicker?
No, kickers are replaceable. They need to cut him so they can give 7 to Isaiah Bond. And then I'm going to go out and buy a jersey. 7 with Bond on it. That's what I'm going to do.
That would be huge.
Are
you excited
James
about
Bond
that
fan.
pick? It's a win-win, right? With Isaiah Bond.
I like Isaiah Bond because he can run stretch plays, you can run screen plays with him, and you can run him down the field. That's all you need him to do. You can do that pretty easy. I'm happy with that situation.
Yeah, okay.
That's good value for what you got. And if you're in, I mean, how many years did they give that idiot that they drafted in the 3rd round that couldn't catch a football? I mean, come on. You want him to run fast? No, the white dude from Alabama, not about Auburn. The white dude from Auburn.
Oh,
short little dude that couldn't catch the football. It ended up short arming a pass that ended up getting intercepted. So Baker Mayfield had to go out and make the tackle. God, busted his shoulder up.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. He was the sprinter.
Yeah, and if he caught the ball, he got hit. He'd fumble. Yeah, I mean, you know who I'm talking about. I would much rather see Isaiah Bond. I'm actually pretty excited. Now, if that idiot Judkins will just sign a contract and we can just move on, like we can put all these rookies
must
together.
Be something hanging up that, right? There's got to be something.
From what I hear, he wants a completely guaranteed contract, which nobody in the 2nd round got. Okay,
right.
1st round contracts tend to be guaranteed, but nobody in the 2nd round gets.
There were some guarantees with the 2nd rounders, but that's the reason why the 2nd teamers, to begin with, all of them were holding out a little bit. So I do believe some of them got some guaranteed money, but maybe not.
Judkins is just hurting his career at this point.
Sure. Yeah.
He's just hurting himself.
Well, and then it goes to the question of going back to, well, why isn't a player like Dylan Sampson, the rookie, he didn't get any snaps in last week's game. He didn't suit up, or they weren't going to play him either. I'm like, there's another rookie running back who you're thinking is going to be
Sports
the main
science.
guy. Him and Jerome Ford. Oh boy, Jerome Ford, your favorite.
Yeah,
Find the hole and run sideways.
Quinshon Judkins needs to sign.
Yes,
That's all I'm saying. We need him to sign a contract, and then it'll be like a month before he's ready to play.
Yeah,
It'll be
Well, we'll
ridiculous. They need.
what are you looking forward to in the game on Saturday?
I'm just looking forward to seeing professional football. I mean, like these preseason games, they're not
Right.
professional level football. So I'm looking forward to seeing some starters play professional level
Mhm.
football. That's
Yeah.
what I want.
Okay.
Now, if that'll happen, I don't know. We'll see. I am also interested to see what's going to happen at nickel because I am kind of concerned,
Mm.
especially with Greg Newsome's situation. I mean, we could have all the pass rush in the world, but if Joe Burrow can just sit there and throw quick slants all day long, we're going to be in trouble come the first week.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I want to see what we're going to do in the secondary.
Okay, fair.
So
All right. Well,
that and I want to watch Shedeur Sanders because we're not going to see him again for a while.
right.
Because honestly, when you get to this part of the season, you can't have somebody in the game that can't run the offense. So I am pretty
Okay.
sure if Flacco goes down, we're going on to Kenny Pickett. And then if Pickett goes down, we're going to Dylan Gabriel simply because he can run and execute the offense at a professional
Okay.
level. And then if Pickett gets hurt, then we'll see Sanders. Unless Sanders can figure his crap out and get his stuff
So it really
ready.
wasn't a quarterback competition like people said at the beginning. Like this, there really was no competition.
Well, I think Flacco and Pickett were in competition. I think Flacco was there to push Pickett because they want Pickett to do what they think he can do.
Mhm.
And you never know. He might. I mean, he had some idiot offense over in Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
so, he might actually be pretty decent. We just got to give him a shot, see what we got.
Okay. All right.
I mean, even long term, the answer here, if you just had to deal with the quarterbacks on the roster, Shedeur Sanders, after a year, maybe year and a half, will surpass Kenny Pickett easy. So
Yeah.
it's if you're invested in Shedeur Sanders, give him the chance to develop. Don't rush him out
Mhm.
there. He'll be
Okay.
better than these guys. All right. Well, hey, I'm gonna call it for the day. Thanks for recording with me today, John. The
You are
Ravens,
welcome,
man. I'm
sir.
killing me with this 30-year anniversary thing, man. They
Oh,
can
I
all
thought
just-
you get hurt. So I'm glad that you now that will infuriate you for the rest of the week.
I'm like not. Hold on.
I'm actually a Ravens fan.
Go to hell.
I think I'm going to end it on that. Go to hell.
Thank you for listening to the What the Elf Was That podcast. Please like, subscribe, and tell all your friends to give a listen. You can follow host Joel Cade on Twitter @The Left Guard.